Hey everybody, today I'm going to go into depression in pregnancy and also look at the word depression and how we can transform it at this time. I have my own beliefs on this and I would love to know your insights. So thank you for joining me, and let's go on a little journey to discover what's really happening inside of us. So we hear a lot about postnatal depression, but we don't really hear so much about prenatal depression. And I believe that there is a big taboo around this area because there's a lot of shoulds that are arising. We should be always happy that we're pregnant. We should feel empowered and we should feel connected to our baby at this time. Now, depression for me is when you are starting to shut off from the world. You're protecting yourself in some way. It's when you feel that there is some kind of threat to your identity. So, for example, when we become pregnant, whether we planned it or not, I didn't plan mine. I can do this in another vlog if you're interested. So either way, it doesn't matter. There is a lot of potential for these feelings to come up because we're transitioning. So we're going from the known into the unknown. And whether you've been pregnant before or not, the situation's different. Your body's different. Your baby's different. So if you think about this, when you are going through this transition, not only do you have your physical body that's changing and your hormones that are changing and your relationship with yourself, your partner, the world around you, and also your place in your family or your society, wherever you live, everything's changing. And this can put a threat to our sense of self. We'll call it our ego. We've heard that word a lot, right? So this idea of who we are can become threatened because everything that it's known so far is about to change. And how does it know what to do if it doesn't know? If that makes sense. So yeah, our hormones will change the way that we perceive the world and will change our personality because that's what they do. We know this. We've been having periods. We can see throughout the month how that changes the way that we see the world and how we interact with the world. Everything is heightened. Every single thing. Our senses, our hormones raise, our body changes, our relationships change, like I said before. And we can get into these moments of darkness, and I don't think that it's anything that we should be ashamed of. I think it should be more open that we speak about it, because if so many of us are going through it, why do we not hear about it? That's my question. And there's a tendency, I think, for people to fix this. So there's a tendency for people to question your environment, your relationships, your choice to have the baby or not, your decision to whether you would take antidepressants or, I don't know, anything. People just want to fix things and change things straight away. So how about if you see it in a different way? If you know that your ego, your identity feels under threat, then there must be a way to comfort it. So that means we have to go inside. And this is why I'm so grateful for my yoga practice and for the things that I've been taught along the years. I feel like it's all been for a reason. It's all been for now. I have gone through many dark moments in my life, and I have spoken about this openly. Even through my pregnancy, I have had moments where I'm just crying in bed and I am questioning my whole life, my whole decisions, because in one moment, my whole life changed. I had to surrender my old way of life, my retreat that I had spent so much time on and so much energy, and with my mum living there too, I had my family around me and my friends around me and my community. I was living in this old idea of myself that I was a yoga teacher, that I was a big businesswoman, that I could do so many things at once. And then suddenly I became pregnant. And I've mentioned this before, that when I met Elon, I knew my life was going to change. Like, I could feel it. So then we made the decision to move, and I spoke about this, and kind of I processed this through my own practice. I did a lot of cutting cord ceremonies, which I have in my subscription, or I can just share with you if you want to. But basically it's the energy cutting of cords, and it's not to say that you dismiss this person or this thing, it's just that you no longer have that attachment that keeps drawing you back the same way that it used to. It's like a fresh new relationship with this thing or this person. And that really helped me. And I also noticed that obviously when we're tired, we're more easily triggered, and we can go back into that old way of thinking, and we can just, our mind really takes over. We have no control anymore. So for me, this is my advice to you, coming from what I've practiced. And I'm not saying it's the right way, I'm just saying it's what I've introduced into my life, and I really hope that it helps you. So first of all, I would say be aware. Once you have noticed that you are going down the spiral, or you're noticing that your mind is no longer supporting you anymore, because our mind is our biggest gift. We have memory, we can be conscious to be present and reflect on our thoughts and how we're feeling, and we can visualize and we can create an amazing future for ourselves. So that's incredible. We can use them, but sometimes our mind can turn back on us, and it can start to be very, very destructive. And I believe that this is a way of keeping the self alive, like this idea of yourself. You protect it, and it becomes really heavy, and you close in and you shut off the world around you, and you become more of this individual self. When actually this is kind of like an animal instinct to do, to create boundaries, and a human instinct is to release them boundaries and to connect more with people. So not even in the way that you're going to parties or anything like that, just so that you can feel that love and compassion for them, whether you decide to speak to them or not. But the judgment and the criticism starts to dissolve, because you see that we are all just working towards trying to find peace and enjoy this life and feel content in where we're at, moving towards the joy instead of towards the pain. And if we think about it in this way, when we go into them areas that are really, really dark, however that looks for you, whether that's you lying on the bed crying, whether it's you screaming at your partner, whether it's saying that you don't want this baby anymore, you don't want this life anymore, whether it's self-harming through not giving yourself the right nutrients or the right exercise, or going out and getting fresh air, whether it's complete distraction and not speaking about it and avoidance. There's so many ways that it can manifest, and I speak about this a lot. So I'm trying to keep this short, but basically the things that you want to look at firstly is, okay, I have an idea, there's something happening inside of me that doesn't feel in harmony because I'm rejecting the situation. So that means that you're holding on to the past, and you have a choice, of course. You don't have to keep your baby if you don't want to. That's one choice. I am very open that everyone can make their own decisions, and I would never judge them on that. You don't have to stay in the relationship. You don't have to stay in the same place. You don't have to keep your baby. You can put it up for adoption if you wanted to, if that was your decision. But what I'm saying is, make these decisions from a place when you're in your heart space, when you're feeling compassionate and connected to the world, not when you're moving from fear, because that means you're moving from fear. And if we're wanting to wake up in this world and experience it to its fullest for the beauty that it is in this human form, then we're trying to let go of our fears and move from love and from the heart. This will relieve our suffering. So firstly, you've noticed. Secondly, check in with the body. So how is your physical body? Are you moving? Are you having the right nutrition? Are you hydrated? Are you getting out to have fresh air? How is your environment? The people that you're around? You know, they say I think it's the people you're around, the top 5 people you're around are the ones that shape your reality. So take a look at the people that you're around. Take a look at the things that you're listening to, that you're reading, that you're watching. And these are all things, if you think of everything coming into your system, we're just absorbing it all the time through our senses. And that all has an effect, whether we think it or not. subconsciously or consciously, it has an effect on us. So we can think about that, bringing that into balance. Now, I have so many videos, meditation videos, yoga videos that can help you, and it's completely free. It's on a subscription that I've left in the link below. You just join up and you get free access to everything. And we also have a community group that we can chat and ask questions about. Okay, so that's that. The second thing is, what is the fears? Like, what fears are coming up for you? So for me, I realized that I was afraid of being abandoned because my father wasn't there when I was growing up. My mum was a single parent, and I was afraid that I would have to live this life again. I saw my mum was amazing. She still is really incredible, but I saw her struggle, and it was hard for me not growing up with a father figure because I saw my friends, and you can imagine, especially if you've been through that, you know what it's like. And it's funny because I noticed myself, instead of creating this family and loving my partner and really doing the best I could not to get in that situation, I was doing the opposite. I was pushing away. I was kind of creating a reality where I would relive that for myself. And when I noticed it, I was really, really shocked. I never expected that. And it comes from this idea that I am independent, that I can do everything on my own, that I don't have to be around people if they are not making me feel good. And what I realized is, if in a relationship, for example, we're going to have the highs and the lows, we know this, but it takes commitment, it takes effort. I have my relationship as my priority. It's my spiritual practice because he is me and I am him, and we're on this journey right now together, and he shows me things that I don't see. So he shows me my subconscious, and same for him, for me, for him. You get it? And sometimes it's hard because we have this way, we think everything that we do is right. We think that other people have to be wrong. Like, how could we be wrong? And actually, when I'm saying this, it's not right or wrong. It's just being respectful and thinking about things or people outside of yourself. So even though you are special, you're as special as the person next to you, you know? So, and it's a very beautiful journey when your fears start to come up, because if you don't feel like you completely trust in this relationship, it would be very hard to share your fears, because you might think that they're going to use them against you or some way, or that you're showing them your weaknesses. But if you really believe in this relationship, what you'll see is that the other person starts to feel more connected to you for sharing, and also realizes what your fears are, so that they don't push the boundaries too much, but maybe you can explore why them fears are there. And that's a whole other vlog to get into. So that's one thing. And then what about your fears about pregnancy? What about your fears about being a parent? These are the questions that are raised in this course that I've created, because there's things that you can look at, and there's information out there. There's so much information, and it's just being directed to the ones that are going to support you and not feed your fears, because you can do this. We have been giving birth since forever, and this is a very empowering time for us. The transition can be difficult when we're in limbo, but it's the most sacred, beautiful journey that we'll ever go on, and that is for the light and for the dark as well. And so we can use our mind, because we can see our fears, that's our past. We can be in the present moment, we can see how our body and our mind is reacting, so we can observe it, and we can choose what thoughts we have. We can choose what we decide to do with our body. And I suppose it's kind of like recreating ourselves into this new way of being, using our mind first, so we can use the power of visualization and our imagination that we have as humans to see what we want to be. So it's really the question, what kind of life do you want to live? That's it. It's that simple. What kind of life do you want to experience? Start to visualize it. Start in every moment that you're awake, to say, does this serve who I am? And who I am is the vision, but also it's now. It's right now in this moment. And I can say these words, and if you're in a positive place, they'll really resonate. Maybe if you're not in a positive a positive place, they'll resonate. But some days they're just words, they're just sounds. So I would say creating this life for yourself means to take some time to reflect, take some time to make a plan for yourself. How does your day look? What are you going to do if you're triggered? Having all these tools in place for you to wake up. It's all about waking up. And when I say waking up, I just mean I'm present, I'm here, I'm not being taken over by my fears. So that is a summary of what I think we're experiencing when we go through this depression, as it is termed in the medical profession. Sometimes our chemicals are imbalanced in our mind, and we do need to have medication, but we can also support that with our daily practices, with what we do with our body, with what we eat, with our interactions. And that's what I'm interested in. So if you want any support with this, then please reach out. I'm totally open to that, and I can send you the link and get you involved in the free course. I'm doing this because it's very close to my heart, and I want people to know that they don't need to feel ashamed for going into this darkness, that it can actually be a really beautiful, insightful experience if you have the right support. So I'm sending you all lots of love, and just know that you are not alone. You're not the first person to feel this. I've felt it, and I'm not surprised if I will feel it in the future. But I know I have trust, and I have my love for myself and for the people around me and the people around them and everybody. We're all on this journey together, looking to wake up, to help each other, to relieve the suffering. So stay in touch, let me know what you think, and if you have any questions or you want me to cover some other topics, then please let me know. And remember to subscribe, because I'm going to be posting videos here when I feel inspired and when I feel that they might support you in some way. So for now, goodbye, and have a beautiful day. Bye.